Hey y'all, how you doing? Valerie here, and I'll garden in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains in Zone 6, West Virginia. And it's been a while since I've been in my garden because it's either been too hot or too rainy. But right now we are being blessed with this really mild weather. I want to say it's 75 degrees today and a nice little breeze. And there's some clouds out making the sun not too harsh. And it's the middle of the day. It's like 3 o'clock. And usually at 3 o'clock I'm inside hiding from the sun. But it's so nice, I decided I'm going to go out and get some weeding done because everything I have is so overgrown. And I just want to get it taken care of because I haven't been able to. First due to the weather and then due to my foot injury. In these clips you might see that I have like one random yellow sock on my foot. That's my injured foot, and I'm just keeping it covered to help keep the dirt and debris off of it. It still swells a little when I put a shoe on, so I really can't put a shoe on, and I usually garden barefoot anyways most of the time, so I just put a sock on to help keep it covered and the dirt out of it and all that. But it's healing. It's mostly scarred over. The scar is still very tender. I'm sure underneath it's probably stitching together still internally, and it's still bruised, but it's so much better. The rest of my foot doesn't really hurt now anymore. It's just the scarred part. It's very tender still. So all that just to say, hey, let's get in the garden for the first time in a while. I'm going to start with weeding just one of these areas. I'm not sure which one. I'm going to pick one. I'm going to start weeding, and I'm going to bring you along with me because everything's been neglected at this point. And I would like to uncover the flowers that are still flowering and maybe collect some seeds off some stuff that's done for the season. I've got some rudbeckias I'd like to get some seeds off of. Sorry, I was getting distracted. There's a little teeny tiny butterfly flying around me, and it's very fast, so I don't know if I could show you, but it keeps distracting me. I think it's flying too fast for me to get on camera though. Alright, let's go get this weeding done. I will meet you in some part of my garden when I figure out which place I'm starting at. I think I have decided to start here at this garden because this this Artemisia here needs severely cut back, and honestly so does this fennel. And this is one of the first garden beds you see. There's all kinds of stuff in here that it's trying to bloom or probably trying not to die at least. So I think I might just start on this end since it's one of the first beds you come to.
I got patchouli in my pockets, wool socks in my shoes. Rolling down the back road singing Grateful Dead tunes. I played checkers with an old fella at a roadside stand. He said, son, you might stay lost if you don't have a plan. They call me a drifter, a twist in the grain, but I follow where the fireflies whisper my name. I got one hand thumbing, one hand open wide. West Virginia wind hitching me a ride. I've seen hollers sing a love song, rivers carve a rhyme, trading meals for the stories that I gather over time. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it home, and it sure feels great. Stopped off at a diner where the jukebox still plays. Met a girl named June who made me question my ways. She had a tattoo of Orion in a steelworker's hands. Said, you ain't got a own just to take a stand. They say you can't be both grounded and free, but I met a stargazer sitting in a booth next to me. I got one hand in my pocket, one hand by my side. West Virginia trooper offered me a ride. I've heard farmers sing a
not going to lie, after that last little clip I took a break because the sun started to get a little warm, but it's set a little bit further now. It's a couple hours later, and maybe 3. I don't know, it's about 5 or 6, I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm going to turn you around and kind of show you what I got done and show you the part that I at least want to get finished today. I don't know if I will, but those are the plans. See, I got all this Artemisia cut back. There's a couple of branches there still that go up this way that I didn't see until I started weeding over that area that I'll cut back. I have this fennel here that I'm going to leave for the butterflies if they want it. Next year I'm going to just keep it topped a little better and not let it get this tall, because that's probably a good 4.5 to 5 feet tall. And then this was all full of weeds, and you can see now that it's been weeded out. And when you step back this way, it's not really looking like much yet because I've got stuff back here to do, but I'm slowly uncovering this and getting it in better shape, so that's what I'm going to continue doing.
For the stories that I gather over time, you can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it life, and it sure feels great. Once I thought I needed some faraway land, chased mirages in the desert, left my footprints in the sand. But every road kept bending like the curves of a stream, till I found out I've been bringing myself back to me. Now I got both hands holding on, both feet planted strong. West Virginia skies still carrying my soul.
My battery's about to die, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then I'll be back to show you what I've got done. I may or may not finish this whole bed. I definitely don't think I'm going to get it mulched tonight, so I'll see you in a few seconds once I have a charged battery. Alright, I'm going to see if I've got enough battery left to show you an after shot real quick before I go in for the evening. I know you probably don't remember what this looked like, but it was just a weedy mess. And I know this fennel doesn't look great right now. It's bigger than it needs to be for this bed at the moment. However, I do want to leave it for the caterpillars. I ended up getting all of this area weeded, this area over here weeded out. This area over here weeded, this little area, and then show you what it looks like back here. So now I just need to get more mulch on everything. This right here is what I think is a volunteer patch of foxglove, because I had foxglove planted there, and if so, I ripped thousands out. But I decided to leave them because everything in me is saying it looks and feels like foxglove. Alright. That's looking much better now. Okay, like I said, now I just need to get this area mulched. And I do have a few plants I'm thinking about filling in some of these gaps with now that I've got it weeded and it's opened. And I just want it to be as full as possible so it grows plants, not weeds. Alright, I will see you in a few seconds, and we'll start on the next project. It's the next day, and there's a bunch of butterflies out. I've been trying to capture them on film and haven't been able to. Anyways, I'm going to try to get the area mulched today that I got weeded yesterday, and then we will go from there. You can kind of see it from this side. It looks so much better. It used to be overgrown, all just like this bed. Like, you can't tell weeds from plants. Yeah, that's just looking so much better. And now that I got it cleaned out, I want to get mulch down. I am thinking about taking some of those Alpine strawberries I have and planting the front edges of these beds. because there's space to do so and I have them. So I think I'll do that first and then we'll come in and mulch it. These are the Yellow Wonder Alpine strawberries, and I'm just going to plant the front edge.
I've seen horses run headlong, heard woodpeckers tap in time, traded the road for the wisdom I've been searching to find. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it my world, and it sure feels great. So if you're ever out this way with a story to trade, I'll be sitting by the fire, pouring bourbon in the shade. I got patchouli in my pockets, wool socks in my shoes, rolling down the back road singing Grateful Dead tunes. I played checkers with an old fella at a roadside stand. He said, son, you might stay lost if you don't have a plan. They call me a drifter, a twist in the grain, but I follow.
So I ended up planting 15 plants, and I'm going to show you where I put them, and then we'll get to work on that mulch. I have them all along this front wall, and then I go around this corner, and then I stop because these plants in through here will spread. Like I have some Lithidora. If it survives, it'll spread. It looks pretty good, but I did buy it on clearance, and I know some of them didn't make it. Then I have this hot and spicy oregano, and that spreads. And then I have this variegated lemon thyme. What's it called? Golden lemon thyme, and that all spreads. And then I also put some around this corner all the way to that edge. So this whole edge I put in those strawberries, and now I just need to work on getting it mulched. I did backfill with good soil, and I know I've said this before, but don't bury your crown. Right here, this little area in the middle is your crown. Don't bury that or your strawberries will die.
The fireflies whisper my name. I got one hand thumbing, one hand open wide. West Virginia wind hitching me a ride. I've seen hollers sing a love song, rivers carve a rhyme, trading meals for the stories that I gather over time. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it home, and it sure feels great. Stopped off at a diner with a jukebox still.
Alright, here's what I've gotten done. All of this mulching, it just looks so much better. Now these plants will have the opportunity to hopefully fill in and grow and not be impeded by weeds. Alright, it's getting pretty warm out here, so I'm going to go in for a little while, and then later this evening I'm going to come back out and plant the rest of those Alpine strawberries that I have in flats, and the rest of the asparagus that I have in flats that I never got planted in the ground. I'm going to go ahead and plant them in the grow bags so they can be in some soil, because they've been struggling in their containers. They should have been planted in the spring, and they've been sitting around all summer. So I'm going to put them in some big old giant grow bags to overwinter in, and then next spring I will either plant them or sell them or figure out what I'm going to do with them. I honestly need another patch for my strawberries and another patch for my asparagus, and I haven't quite figured that out. So I figured the best bet would be, let's just plant them for the winter and we can figure it out in the spring. Alright, I'll see you in a few seconds. Alright, I'm back out here, and I'm going to get these big, huge grow bags that I have filled, and I'm going to put them in my yard here. So first I need to move the trays out of the yard, and then I can put my bags out, and I'm probably going to fill the bottom with peanut shell and then top them off with good garden soil that I got from the store. That'll enable me to get those strawberries and those asparagus out of their containers. So first order of business is to get all the trays out of the yard so I can put the grow bags down.
Met a girl named June who made me question my ways. She had a tattoo of Orion in a steelworker's hands. Said you ain't got a roam just to take it.
Here's our giant pile of mulch. I'm going to use this for the bottom several inches of those grow bags. Strawberries don't really root that deep, so it'll just be filler. And the top several inches will be actual soil.
They say you can't be both grounded and free, but I met a stargazer sitting in a booth next to me. I got one hand in my pocket, one hand by my side. West Virginia trooper offered me a ride. I've heard farmers sing a love song, woodworkers bust a rhyme, traded weed for the stories that I gather over time. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it life, and it sure feels great. Once I thought I needed some faraway land, chase mirages in the desert.
I have two kinds of Alpine strawberries. I have Yellow Wonder and White Soul. I am going to plant my asparagus and my Yellow Wonder strawberries in one bag because I have yet less of the Yellow Wonder. And then the White Soul strawberries will go in the other bag. And that way it'll be easier for me to keep my varieties separated so I know what's what. Alright, the first type I am going to plant is the White Soul.
My footprints in the sand, but every road kept bending like the curves of a stream, till I found out I've been bringing myself back to me. Now I got both hands holding on, both feet planted strong. West Virginia skies still carrying my song. I've seen horses run headlong, heard woodpeckers tap in time, traded the road for the wisdom I've been searching to find. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it my world, and it sure feels great. If you're ever out this way with a story to trade, I'll be sitting by the fire, pouring bourbon in the shade, rolling down a back road singing Grateful Dead tunes. I played checkers with an old fella at a roadside stand. He said, son, you might stay lost if you don't have a plan. They call me a drifter, a twist in the
I have that tray of strawberry, those trays of strawberries, those are all the Yellow Wonder. Those are all the White Soul. And that little tray is just weeds that I weeded. So I've got 2 trays of White Soul and a couple of trays of Yellow Wonder still to plant. I really thought that that would only take 2 grow bags. That's okay. I have a couple more that I'll locate. Just have to figure out where I put them because I put them up over the fall last year, or in the fall last year. And I haven't gotten them out for this season, but I will look for those, and when I find them, I'll get those filled, and we'll probably plant those together as well. Alright, that is all I have for you today. It's evening time, it's starting to get dark out, and I need to go in and start some dinner. I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bye.